Do you want to know how to get more traffic from Pinterest? Looking for ways to get more clicks on your pins, to your website, or maybe even to your shop? Hey there, it's Natalie Bardo, your Pinterest coach here. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 15 ways to get more traffic on Pinterest. So if you love Pinterest tips, be sure to give this video a quick thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I've got weekly content coming your way. So let's talk about Pinterest traffic. So getting more clicks to your website is not just about improving your pin design. It's also about ensuring that more people can see your pins overall. And that happens through Pinterest SEO. It's about getting your pins in front of the right people for the right keywords. And there's a bit more to it than that. So let's go through my 15 ways to get more traffic from Pinterest. I'll be sprinkling throughout my favorite ways to increase my Pinterest traffic that have led to some results just like this using these strategies. So number one, and this is by far your easiest win, you're going to want to promote your best content. So head into your Pinterest analytics and find what are those top blog posts or those top products that are getting the most clicks. You're going to want to design more pins for that content and promote it even further. Because if these pins linking to this best content or ranking in your Pinterest analytics, that means that there is interest. And say, for example, those pins have high impressions, but not a good click-through rate, you're going to want to improve those pin designs to increase clicks. So focus on your best content first. When it comes to Pinterest, it isn't necessarily about creating more content. It's about creating more pins to the content that you already have that people have shown an interest in. You always want to give the people what they want when it comes to Pinterest. So the second way that you can get more traffic from Pinterest is to create longer pins only. We're talking about those longer images that are at least 1000 by 1500 pixels or whatever the best size is right now for Pinterest. So those longer pins are important. You don't want to just add those square images or horizontal images that you might be creating for your blog post or your products directly to Pinterest. Pinterest is not Instagram. You want to ensure that you have longer images because these are the types of images that are going to take up the most amount of real estate on mobile. And here's why: 85% of Pinterest users are on the app. So if you're creating smaller images, you're not making a huge impact. So create longer images and even play around with designing longer than 1000 by 1500. Try to do 1000 by 2000 pixels and see if you increase your clicks that way. Longer pins do way better than square images. All right, so speaking of pin design, the third way to get more traffic from Pinterest is to add a call to click on your pin image. So it's very important to first add text to your images, text that tells people what exactly your linking content is about. This is especially important for blog posts. But even more importantly, you want to add a click here or buy now or read for more or save for later to your pin image, telling the pinner what you want them to do. Because when someone clicks to your site or saves your pin, that is a positive signal to Pinterest that your content is noteworthy. And that's going to encourage them and the algorithm to show your content to even more pinners. So don't forget to add a call to click. Okay, and the fourth way to get more traffic from Pinterest is to pin at the best time. Pinning at the best time ensures that your content gets seen by your audience. So many people are just throwing up a pin whenever they have the time. But if you dig into your analytics, you can see when your audience is most active. What time zone are they in? What times of the day? Is it morning or night? If you need help with this, check out this video that I created on finding the best times to pin. Sometimes just changing the time you pin can increase your traffic. That's all it takes. That's why it's one of my favorite ways to increase clicks on Pinterest. And the fifth way for you to increase your Pinterest traffic is to target long tail keywords. So when you're creating content for Pinterest, you have to decide, what exactly is this content about? And most specifically, what are Pinterest users searching so that they would find this content? So don't just choose 1 or 2 word keywords. Like, you don't want to just say outfits for women or, outfits for men. You want to say, what exactly is that outfit for? Is it going out on a date outfits, or, date night outfits, or Valentine's Day outfits, or New Year's Eve party outfits? Okay. So you're seeing how I'm contextualizing what that content is about. Here's why. When you're using just 1 or 2 very general word keywords, you are basically diving into the ocean, right? The ocean of Pinterest search results, where there are so many people who have created content for that general keyword. But if you're using a keyword that is more specific and tailored, like New Year's Eve outfits, you are more likely to be found because the pool is not the ocean. Maybe it's a pond or a lake, and you have a better chance of rising to the top of search results and actually getting clicks to your website instead of just throwing your pin into the ocean and no one will see it. So you want to target those long tail keywords. And to do this, you can always use the Pinterest search bar, or you can use a tool like Pin Inspector to find the best long tail keywords for your content. Speaking of keywords, the 6th way to get more traffic from Pinterest is to write better pin titles. Pin titles actually appear in search results. Usually it's just the first 40 words. So you want to make sure that if someone is scrolling and it's the choice between your pin and someone else's pin, that they choose your pin over theirs. And sometimes it's that title that is going to make the difference. So with this tip, I'm also going to include saying you want to add that click-worthy pin title to your image. Use emotional words, words that entice someone to click. So if you need help writing pin titles, I actually created a whole video on it, so you can check that out to get more help. So one more way to get more traffic with Pinterest SEO is, of course, to SEO optimize your Pinterest pins. And that doesn't just mean the title or the image or targeting a long tail keyword. That means your pin descriptions. You want to make sure you're adding all the right words when you're writing your pin description so that your pins can get found in search. That is largely how people get discovered on Pinterest. That's how you get traffic, through being found in search. So you want to make sure you're adding those optimizations to your Pinterest pin descriptions, as well as to the boards that you're choosing. Ensure you have the proper board titles, the board descriptions, and if you're adding a video pin or an idea pin, ensure that you're adding topic tags. Topic tags are going to ensure that your pin is shown to the right people. So don't skip this step of adding a topic tag if it's a video pin or an idea pin. You got to SEO optimize. Pinterest is still very much a search engine. So help Pinterest understand what your content is about and don't skip any of the steps when it comes to Pinterest SEO. Okay, so one of my favorite ways to get more traffic on Pinterest is to create seasonal content. Seasonal content is how you are going to increase your traffic because there are large seasonal trends. Meaning, if you time your content right, and I encourage you to get started 60 to 90 days before the season hits, you can have a massive increase in traffic just like the one that I'm experiencing right now. I create so much seasonal content and I ensure that I've pinned it early so that people find my content at the right time. So if you're creating content for spring, for example, that means you want to get started 60 to 90 days in advance. So that's January or February, if we're talking about spring in North America. So you want to click down below and get my free Pinterest seasonal planner, which has all the holidays and celebrations so that you can start creating content that is on season. Seasonal content is one of the best ways to get more clicks on Pinterest. Speaking of seasonal content, you also want to predict Pinterest trends. And don't worry, you don't need to have a crystal ball or go see some wise lady who's going to predict the future for you. No need. Pinterest helps you with this. They have a site where they share all of their predictions for the upcoming year. And of course, you can use a tool like Pinterest Trends to do the research yourself to look and see when is a specific keyword or topic going to be trending so that you can create that content early, just like you will when you are doing your seasonal content creation. So be sure to predict Pinterest trends. This is one of the best ways for you to increase your Pinterest traffic. I actually have a whole video on how you can create content for Pinterest based on the trends. You're going to want to click the link down below in the description. Any of the resources I'm sharing with you, I have links down below. Okay, so the 10th way to get more traffic from Pinterest is to tailor to your audience insights. This is one of the tabs in Pinterest analytics that I would say most people never even click on. In audience insights, you're able to see who your audience is and what they're searching for. You're able to see which of your content resonates or what they have the highest affinity for. So you can use this data and start creating more content based on those insights. So if your audience is interested in finances, create content on finances. If they want quotes, if they like home decor, if they're into any of these niches or types of topics, you want to make sure you're giving the people what they want. You're more likely to get clicks from your audience if you're giving your audience what they're actually interested in. So be sure to check out audience insights and start creating content for your audience, not just content you think people might be interested in, but they probably aren't. That's why we have analytics, okay? Use the data to your advantage and get more traffic from Pinterest. So the 11th way that you can get more traffic from Pinterest is to make video pins. I know. Everyone talks about idea pins these days, but I am still a fan of creating video pins because I have seen that video pins have a really sneaky way of getting to the top of Pinterest search results. So especially if you found some long tail keyword that doesn't have a lot of competition, that doesn't have a ranking video pin in that first slot, you're going to want to create some video pins for your content. So of course, keep creating those standard pins. And if you want to create idea pins, that's great too. But don't forget that video pins are still a powerful way for you to get traffic. For one, they're more engaging than static pins. That movement catches people's eye when they're scrolling, and they are more likely to click because you can click on video pins. Okay, so this is yet another one of my top ways to get traffic from Pinterest. You want to use Tailwind Communities. Yes, I know Tailwind is known as a Pinterest scheduler, but what you don't know is that Tailwind Communities is one of the best ways to increase your Pinterest traffic. It's kind of like a Pinterest group board, but better. Inside these communities, you have other niche bloggers who are sharing your content to hopefully their SEO optimized boards, which is going to increase your chance of getting clicks on your content. I've also noticed that a lot of the top ranking pins in Pinterest search results weren't actually saved by the creator of the pin, but rather other Pinterest users. So in this way, you are able to get your pins in front of other users' audience, and that increases your chance of getting more clicks. Be sure to check out Tailwind Communities. It is one of my favorite ways to get consistent increased exposure of my pins, which leads to more traffic and more clicks. And my 13th favorite way to get more traffic from Pinterest is to design multiple pins per post. But here's the catch. You want to make sure that if you're designing more than one pin for a piece of content, whether that's a product, a blog post, or a sales page, I encourage you to design multiple pins that are different. Have multiple templates that are in distinct styles, all within your branding. So don't forget, you want to add your domain name. You maybe want to stick to your branding colors, but there are so many different styles of pins that you can design that are still on brand. Use a different image, use a different title on your pin. Maybe make some long, make some 1,000 by 2,000, make some 1,000 by 1,500, make a video pin. Whatever you do, just design multiple pins per post. And of course, to stay in line with Pinterest best practices, you're going to spread those pins out and wait at least 7 days to repin the same link. But it is so important to design multiple pins per post. This is how you're going to get more traffic, because here's the thing. Not everyone is attracted to the same pin. We can objectively say, all right, this image looks good and this one doesn't, but we all have our different preferences. Some people like those bright white colored pins. Other people are into clicking on those moody or darker pins, or maybe they like bright colors, or maybe they like video pins. So you have to experiment and try to design multiple pins per post. That's going to increase the odds of getting clicks. Because here's the thing, I've noticed that when I go viral on Pinterest, it's usually not just one pin, it's a set of pins linking to the same content that take off together. So speaking of designing multiple pins, I encourage you to also get more clicks from Pinterest by experimenting with your Pinterest pin designs. So here's the thing, maybe your Pinterest pin designs just aren't working. If you've been pinning for a while and you're not seeing growth in your clicks, it might be that you need to go back to the drawing board and start designing new pins. It's always important every single year to design some new templates and test them out. I always retire my worst performing pin and create a new template that I'm going to be using going forward. This is how you increase your traffic, because you are constantly improving upon what you've learned about what works for your pin design. So if you've noticed that people are into those lighter pins, for example, maybe you'll design a new template that's similar, but not exactly the same. You want to experiment with the placement of the image, the type of image that you're using, colors, even the fonts and the text. So get crazy, start designing, and that's super easy to do if you're using Canva. Canva makes it very easy to design Pinterest pin templates so that you can easily experiment and see what works best. Of course, you're going to also want to take a look at your analytics after you've been pinning these new pins for a few months to see if people are responding. And if so, design even more pins like that. And my final way for you to get more traffic from Pinterest is to just pin consistently. This is possibly one of the best things you can do to increase your traffic from Pinterest. Of course, I encourage you, experiment with your pin designs, constantly improve your SEO, and do all the things that I've mentioned in this video, but nothing is more important than just being consistent. That means you're pinning roughly the same amount of pins day in, day out, week after week. They're not missing out. You're not letting your profile go dormant. You're not skipping days. You're not pinning a lot one day and disappearing for weeks or months at a time, then wondering why your traffic is dropping like crazy. You need to just pin consistently. You don't need to figure it all out before you start. I just encourage you to improve, to do better SEO, to do better targeting of keywords, to create better designed pins. But whatever you do, just keep pinning consistently. So there you have it. That's 15 ways that you can get more traffic with Pinterest. And if you are looking for a step-by-step guide to increasing your traffic, your subscribers, and sales with Pinterest, be sure to click down below and enroll in my course, Pinterest Popular. It's my 3-step system to getting more traffic, subscribers, and sales for free with just Pinterest. I share in-depth lessons and take you click by click to doing all of the 15 tips and more that I shared with you in this video. So that link's down below. Be sure to click and check out my course, Pinterest Popular. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and be sure to subscribe to my channel because I love being your Pinterest coach. And be sure to stick around. You're going to find this video helpful. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.